I'm an international student in Germany and I'm on a scholarship. Public universities here are tuition free, so I only pay an admin fee, usually around 100 to 300 euros per semester. That means my scholarship is basically for living expenses. Each month I get about 900 euros to cover everything. It's not a lot, but it's also not nothing. And over time, I've built a very personal way of spending and not spending money, which I'd love to share with you today. Hi, I'm Anne. I'm a master's student in communication, and I want to teach you everything I learned to improve the relationship with yourself and everyone else. Become your own dream girl, live your dream life. Let's start with what I don't buy. Fast fashion and trendy clothes is my biggest no. Even though I also used to buy fast fashion, something happened that completely changed the way I dress. At the end of 2021, I got my scholarship and instantly went on a shopping spree after hadn't spent a dime on clothes for 3 years. It felt so deserved and fun. I felt very well dressed going out in my small Bavarian city, but that feeling disappeared in summer 2022 when I went to Mallorca. I remembered feeling invisible, seeing the clothes that made me felt well dressed at home on everyone else, like a copy of a copy. The same outfits I saw on one mannequin, I would see again 2 blocks later. And right then and there, I realized I love fashion, but I don't want to look like a walking H&M mannequin. So I stopped buying just to buy. I started learning about fabric, style, and what actually fits my personality. And now, 5 years later, I only own things that feels timeless, high quality, and most importantly, like me. We'll talk about that in the buy list. Second, eating out, ordering in, and alcohol is something I almost never spend money on. I cook. And I mean, I always cook. Maybe once every 1 or 2 months, I go out with friends, usually because we also like cooking together. Part of this lifestyle is how I grew up being poor. Cooking at home wasn't a healthy habit, it was just life. And that lifestyle stayed even when my finances changed. Also, the small Bavarian city where I used to live didn't exactly convince a picky eater like me. I just refused to spend money on food that was mediocre, too salty, too fatty, when I could cook better at home for less.
My mother-in-law, like that.
That said, if you live alone, you know cooking is a whole mental job. Planning meals, grocery trips, cooking before you faint is a lot. And more often than I want to admit, I procrastinated cooking until I was literally shaking from hunger. But for better or worse, from being broke to having limited options taught me cooking skills that eased my way into fitness in 2023. In the end, cooking is both a survival skill, time management, and nutrition knowledge. And alcohol, the idea of paying money for something that makes me feel physically unwell for the same level of fun I can have sober, wild. Sometimes I even get allergy reaction. It's just unpredictable, too many downsides for too little upside. So the only time I buy alcohol is maybe a gift and never for myself. The last thing I don't spend money on is high-end makeup and skincare. In Germany, drugstores have amazing private label products. They make brands like L'Oreal and Maybelline look expensive. And low price doesn't mean cheap. I got my skin from this to this only with drugstore makeup and skincare. Also, let's be honest, nobody coming to your house to check what moisturizer you use. People only see the result on your face. So if I can get the same result for a fraction of the price, why would I pay extra just for the name? And even if people did notice the brand, it still wouldn't be worth spending my money on opinions people probably aren't even having. If there is any thought at all, it's not about you, but usually about themselves. Either they would do the same or not, either they are jealous of you or not. And if it costs me money for people to have thoughts about themselves, having me merely a trigger, it's the most expensive and useless money ever spent. Now, here's the part that matters. What I do spend money on. Purpose. The art of spending money is to spend it so uniquely and so personally to get the best life you care about. And there are 3 things on my list. 1. Secondhand clothes and mostly online. I mostly buy secondhand clothes, especially online. I actually prefer shopping online because my whole apartment becomes the fitting room over the cramped boxes in store. I can also mix and match with everything I already own. For the last 5 years, almost everything I've bought is from Zalando pre-owned. The clothes arrived clean with tags and in my size. I love secondhand for 2 reasons. 1, it's not trend driven, and if I still love something after time, it's basically high quality and timeless by definition. Besides ecological benefits of secondhand shopping, the biggest benefit for me is this. Secondhand offers fewer options, meaning you avoid the paradox of choice. You stop buying out of boredom, and you stop seeing the same outfit on everyone, including mannequins. Only 1 year after Mallorca, when I visited Copenhagen in summer 2024, I felt the opposite of invisible. I felt unique, chic, and expressive. And since then, that feeling has stayed with me. Second, I spend money on organic food. In Vietnam, where I grew up, organic food was kind of normal. Small farmers, markets, fresh produce. When I came to Europe, I saw how industrial farming changed everything. It also made me understand something for the first time. Why people go vegetarian or vegan by choice, not for religion, but because of farming standards and animal treatment. It's 2 completely different worlds. Simple farms, healthier animals, better quality of food, versus large-scale production, unnatural living, and cheap but eatable food. And because I don't waste money on delivery or trendy shopping, I can afford better food where no animal has to suffer their whole life, and I feel calmer about what I'm putting into my body. For me, that's real quiet luxury. Not buying things to impress people, but choosing what matters and respecting the real cost behind affordable food. Lastly, I always choose Apple products. I know it's controversial, and I'm not here to debate all the pros and cons, but personally, after more than 10 years in Apple ecosystem, I'm rarely disappointed. For me, buying Apple is paying for time saved on research, less decision fatigue, trust, and a smooth experience because everything syncs. It doesn't always have to be the newest model, but it's always gonna be Apple over everything else. Money is deeply personal. What makes sense for one person won't make sense for another. Like Morgan Housel says, a financial decision almost always makes sense if you have enough context. So I try to give you context, not just numbers. If you have any questions about my financial style, leave a comment. And thank you for spending time with me. If you didn't hate this video, you'll probably like these 2 I made just for you. I'll see you there, or I'll see you next time. Bye!